Howdy grubs, this is the RG Cube XX. It's my favorite retro emulation handheld because of a weird quirk. It's also because it really shows how far this hobby has progressed in the past 6 years. It's just so fancy looking, and we've come a long way from the Pocket Go, which struggled with the PS1. Now it's considered more of a bare minimum, like so bare minimum that it just comes with the system and you're like, yeah, okay, well, it's supposed to be there. It says synonymous with the handheld as GBA and GBC. Anyway, the Cube's big quirk is the square screen. Very few games use this screen, like Pico 8, which fills it out perfectly, Game Boy and Game Boy Color, which almost fill it out perfectly. And aside from the Retroid Pocket Classic, SNES and NES are at its best here too. It's pretty good for PS1 and GBA just because of how big the screen is, but you know, I have a full review for that you can check out on the end card, but it really does suck for PSP. In my review, I said there was one surprise system that's a perfect fit for it, and that's the coolest system that you've likely never heard of. Every time I mention this system on Reddit, someone always ends up thanking me because they never heard of it and now they're gonna go check out games for it. If my fellow nerdkin haven't heard of it, the people who live and breathe video games, then most of you probably haven't either. So today I'm introducing you to my favorite handheld, the WonderSwan. I'm not going to give you a full history, but like the RG Cube XX, the WonderSwan has its quirks that set it apart from other systems of its time. The WonderSwan was way ahead of its time. It was a 16-bit Game Boy-like system that came out close to the same time as the Game Boy, but only needed one battery and ran 40 hours. That's not a typo, actually 40 hours. But the really cool thing about it is the double D-pads. When playing normally, you'd use only the bottom one for movement and then the right buttons to interact. Some games, though, were played vertically. That means you had to rotate the system. Then you'd use the upper D-pad, which is now on the left, and the right D-pad, which would be the other buttons. Many games played horizontal, like the Digimon series, and platformers like Klonoa, but just as many were played vertical, like Vertical Shmups, and lots of puzzle games. It didn't use an accelerometer to detect the orientation either. Instead, the games were made one way or the other, and the code told the WonderSwan to display an icon telling you which way to hold it. Unfortunately, I don't have any vertical physical games on my WonderSwan that I can show you that with. As you can imagine though, this weird D-pad setup makes it very difficult to emulate. You can rotate the screen, but if it's wider than it is tall, your vertical screen will end up smaller. You could rotate and use the right analog stick and face buttons, but these games aren't best for the stick, and you'd have to rotate the screen 180 degrees without it going to its default position. Some emulators just can't do that. So without a specialized system made to emulate the Swan perfectly, we are stuck with making some concessions, until we got 1:1 ratio handhelds like the RG Cube XX, RGB30, and RGB20SX. Now when we want to play something like Gunpei, we just press a hotkey once and it'll rotate the screen. The cool thing is sometimes the WonderSwan emulator will come with this hotkey already made. There are some other problems with the WonderSwan that make it difficult for us Westerners though. Primarily, this was a Japanese exclusive system that died before it could make it to the US. So the majority of games are in Japanese, but there are a few dozen translated games as well as games that you don't need to understand Japanese to be able to play, like Klonoa Moonlight Museum. You might be familiar with Klonoa from the PS1, the game with the super cute rabbit thing that goes wahoo. Whenever it jumps and stuff. Meanwhile, the game is also very sad and pretty dang hard. They really hit you with the bait and switch on the cute rabbit feller. It's a simple platforming game in its basic mechanics. You launch a blast of air at enemies and it inflates them big and round. Then you carry them around and you use them to get a second jump. Klonoa can also flutter as an extra jump. The original had you playing with its foreground and background with its 2.5D play space. This one keeps it simple though. It's just a side scroller. It's also exclusive for the Swan that was never ported. You can only play it here. There are dozens of puzzle games, and those can be played without understanding Japanese as well. The favorite tends to be Gunpei though. It can be played on a lot of systems nowadays. This series was made to honor the creator of the WonderSwan, Gunpei Yokoi. Yeah, the Game Boy and Virtual Boy Gunpei. And Game & Watch too, of course. Can't forget the Game & Watch, I only made like 30 videos on it. Shortly after making the WonderSwan, he died in a car crash. Gunpei is a simple game and a unique puzzler. I haven't seen many games like it. You use tiles to connect a line from the left side of the play space to the right, with more points being gained the more tiles there are in the connection, as well as doing multiple at once. Since the system was made by Bandai, there had to be a couple virtual pets here too. If you love Digimon V Pets, aka Digital Monster, then good news, as they have it here. It's also a better way to play. It features several quality of life mechanics that the original toys didn't have, like the ability to freeze Digimon if you know you're going to be too busy to take care of them. Nowadays they have those. When this came out, that was kind of a new thing. You can also fast forward time, and other than that, it's exactly like the toys. You nurture, digivolve, and battle. Its Japanese version is mostly in English because in Japan, English sounds super techy, so they put it on all their electronics and in some games for aesthetics. So you know that guy with the tattoo of Japanese text, but he can't actually read Japanese? Well, they do something similar over there with English. Thankfully, there's a full English translation if you want it, though. Speaking of things Japanese people love, there is a Neon Genesis Evangelion game, but it's nothing like you'd expect. Rather than the obvious fighting, RPG, or tactics kind of game that it could have been, they made it a virtual pet sim. Yeah, it's a weird choice, but it's actually a really good fit. Early on in the original anime, Ryoji Kaji meets Gendo Akari, and Gendo asks Ryoji to take care of Adam for him. Adam is like a fetus right now, and he needs his vegetables. So in the game, you play Ryoji, and you take care of Adam in order to help him grow and get stronger. During this time, he can evolve into other angels or into one of the Eva. Then you can battle the main cast using Adam. It's interesting because it's a little more involved than digital monsters. You have to feed him, give him medicine, give him attention, and manage his environment. And if you get tired of looking at the burnt chicken nugget, you can explore the nerf base and find items and talk to people. It's a really weird one, and if nothing got translated but one game, I'd be fine with it just being this one. It's a really unique experience that I'm glad we weren't denied. If you like NGA, then check out Neon Genesis Evangelion Shito Ikuse. There are 200 games in the WonderSwan and WonderSwan Color libraries combined. Most of them are anime games. Despite not living the longest, it did manage to snatch away 8% market share from Nintendo, who was essentially uncontested at the time in the handheld market. It might not be the most impressive thing, but it's weird, and I love it for that. There are more untranslated games and playable ones out there, and I'll make a list sharing more in the future, so make sure to sub for that. Hopefully you enjoyed this video, and you're happy about the cool new weird thing that you just found out you can do with your 1-1 device. If you did, then make sure you tip your YouTuber. I take likes and subscribes. For now, I'll see you grubbies later. Bye!